I don't find it that surprising that 98% of the public don't like these public inconveniences, if I can call them that, single-sex loos, and yet everywhere you go, you get more and more and more of them. Why are the authorities ignoring the wishes of the long-suffering British public?
I think it's exactly that. They're ignoring people. They're not listening to what particularly women want, but also men. You know, nobody wants to share intimate spaces, whether that's toilets or changing rooms or showers, with members of the opposite sex. They don't feel comfortable. And so our survey, which wasn't representative, but we just asked people, and we got 7,000 responses in a week, of which 98% of those people said they valued single-sex services. But even when people have done representative surveys, it comes out at about 85% of people who say they want single-sex toilets, and about 7% who say they would prefer it all to be gender neutral.
So why do the authorities continue to impose these profoundly unpopular toilets on everyone? Why are they doing it? If they know now, at least, I mean, they must have known anyway that people didn't really like them. As you quite rightly say, women don't want to share loos with men, and frankly, no offence to women, vice versa, nor do we want to share them with you, because it's something awkward about it. Why they've changed the system? Why, Maya?
Well, partly because organisations have got scared of saying what a man is and what a woman is. If you have men's toilets and women's toilets, then sometimes you have to say no to men who identify as women and want to use women's toilets. And organisations have got scared of doing that. And so instead of having clear rules and saying, you know, we include transgender people, we'll have a unisex option, we'll make sure that everyone's comfortable, they get so frightened of saying no that they say, let's just make everything gender neutral. And what we heard from our survey was women saying, you know, they changed the changing rooms in my local swimming pool to gender neutral, and I never went back. I haven't swum again. You know, or they changed the toilets in my workplace to gender neutral, and all the women go up 3 floors to where there's still a women's toilet. They're not listening to women.
I think in the recent local elections, you the Sex Matters organisation, rather impressively in my view, said everyone should ask their candidate to define a woman. Now, we've got a certain little election going on right now for the competition among Tories to become the next Prime Minister of this great country, and I'm not quite sure we're getting any clarity on this issue from any of the candidates. Penny Mordaunt in the past has said trans men are men and trans women are women. She also campaigned to keep the word women and woman out of the maternity bill. She preferred pregnant person, pregnant people. And Rishi Sunak, of course, came on to talkTV not so long ago and was asked by the breakfast host Julia Hartley-Brewer to define a woman. He studiously avoided that question. Are you happy with the way any of these candidates are approaching this issue?
I think it's positive that they feel like they have to answer it now. Penny Mordaunt has changed her tune quite significantly.
Regrouping.
You know, yes. They've seen, I think, the way the wind is blowing, and I think they thought it was, they were on the right side of history saying that a trans woman is a woman and that being female doesn't matter. And I think they're finally starting to hear that that's not where the rest of the country is. But it's, you know, for Penny Mordaunt to say she was never standing for self-ID when she was leading the Government Equalities Office when they were proposing self-ID, it's just shocking. But I mean, it's positive that they are now recognising that this is an issue, and we'll be launching our report in Parliament on Tuesday, so we hope they'll all come along.
Indeed, yes, Penny, I mean, I suppose, you know, let's allow people to change their mind. If she's changed her mind and seen the error of her ways, I suppose that's a good thing. So a leadership campaign can bestow clarity on these situations. What did you think about the Church of England? That is an organisation that seems unable to define a woman as well.
You would think that the church would have some grasp on truth, on it, on its version of truth. But the Church of England still won't marry same-sex couples. But if one party in a same-sex couple changes their sex by getting a piece of paper from the government, then they will marry them. I mean, they are supposed to be bringing, I'm not religious, but it's their religion, and that ought to come from the Bible, not from the government.
Yeah.
The government deciding what a man and a woman is seems crazy.
Yeah, as far as I could work out, if I was gay and I had my fiance, the Church of England would not marry us because they still don't do same-sex marriages. But if I identified as a woman, they would marry me, which is mad, isn't it?
Right, exactly. It's mad. The church should have its truth and confidence in its truth, not defer it to the government. And in Scotland, they're talking about changing the rules on gender self-ID so that children as young as 16.
Oh, we're going to freeze up now, are we? Is Maya still there? Oh,
Yeah.
I think if. Just the last question, Maya, before you go. I mean, do you hold out any confidence that we will get rid of the scourge of single-sex toilets, given that we now know 98% of the population don't want them? Well, I would suggest that she probably doesn't hold out too much confidence because it's hard to stop these situations, like trying to turn a tank around. But it was good to talk to Maya for starter there. She is the Executive Director of Sex Matters.